Thank you all so much for coming to GB Flatiron, our first ever pop-up shop. We have some new faces in the crowd, which is exciting, and then some returning favorites. So this evening we're going to be filming this for Facebook Live, hence the movie set look that we have going on here. So if everybody could just turn off the ringers on your phones, that would be great. If you'd like to take photos or stream video, you're totally welcome to, just no sound, please. So, as many of you know, and the reason that you're here, we have Ashley Nell Tipton tonight, who is the winner of Project Runway and an incredible designer and a really wonderful entrepreneur. And that's part of her story that really excites a lot of our Gwenny B members the most, I think. Just such a badass, confident, incredible woman who hasn't let anything stand in the way of really accomplishing what she wants to do. I'm making her hide behind that wall for now. And tonight we have Allie, who's here. She is a blogger. Those of you who haven't checked out her fashion blog, you must. Obviously, telling from this outfit that she put together in about 30 seconds tells you everything you need to know. She is also an editor at Hello Beautiful, and she's going to be here moderating a conversation with Ashley tonight. So they're going to have a quick little chat, and then after that, we're going to open up the floor to questions, both from the Facebook Live audience and from the audience here. So please, if you have any questions that you've always wanted to ask Ashley, feel free to step in. She is ready for anything. All right, thank you very much. Without further ado, Allie and Ashley.
Hey! She looks lovely, doesn't she?
Thank you.
Hi, guys. We're so excited to be here. This is going to be so much fun because how often do you get to pick this fabulous designer's brain like this? We're so excited. So let's jump right into it. First question I definitely want to ask is, what have you been up to? I mean, it's going to take forever, I'm sure, to say.
Yes.
But the
I
short
need to get my checklist out.
of what you've been up to since winning Project Runway.
Yes. I wake up every morning pinching myself, letting me know that I won Project Runway. No, I've just hit the running basically, and before the world knew that I had won Project Runway, I had JCPenney's calling me. I had all these wonderful brands that I've looked up to call me and want to work with me, and that was the most powerful feeling that I ever could have felt, because finally someone wants to work with me and work with my designs, and I finally felt that this was the platform that I've always wanted, to be able to share my work with other plus size women and men, that we do matter and that we do need this area of clothing. And since the show, I've done JCPenney's. I've had 3 lines with them, 3 successful lines with them. We've done simplicity patterns for plus size women as well, where I've allowed my audience, my fans, the sewers, to be their own designer, and I'm helping them with the patterns. So I want them to be able to take what I love and interpret it into what they want to wear, and they get to choose the fabric and everything. So I want them to have fun and be creative.
You're like everyone's Tim Gunn. You're your own personal Tim Gunn. This is amazing.
Yes.
So that is incredible. I want to talk a little bit about that tiny little line you've got at JCPenney, which is amazing.
Thank you.
And, you know, what goes into the design process? When you're, you know, someone who, we saw you create stuff start to finish, but then you're working with a super huge store.
Yes.
What's that process like?
My main goal going through the process with JCPenney's was making sure that I had hands-on with the garments. I designed everything. They told me, design a collection that is something that you would wear. And that was the first thing that I had in my mind, because obviously I've made a ton of followers who followed me for being who I am and not being someone else. And I knew that what I wanted is what everyone else has been wanting in this industry. And so that was the first thing that I wanted to do, was create clothing that is not out there in the plus size industry. So the first thing we did was go for horizontal stripes, with horizontal striped skirts, crop tops. I was a little bit scared that JCPenney's wasn't gonna like my designs, because this isn't their client, but they wanted that client. They wanted to be able to open up the floors to all plus size women and be able to come to to JCPenney's and have a platform to shop.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing. The line is really, really wonderful.
Thank you.
Congratulations on that. I do want to ask, in terms of design process, now we know that you are very well versed in designing for the plus size woman. I love that you design for a plus size girl first and the rest of the world second. You know, it's usually the opposite way, right?
Yeah.
So
I think we've been on the back burner for too long that we now to be thank you. I think that we now need to be in the front lines of like we can dress for our sizes as long as this world gives us the material to do it, because we don't want to give up. I mean, I've been plus size my whole life. I don't know any other way of life.
Right.
And I think that we've just settled for things in a way that we shouldn't have to settle.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that the way the universe works has allowed me to voice that out.
Absolutely.
Right now.
And what do you think is holding retailers back? Because even when they're creating these lines, the fit just still seems to not be there. What is the big problem with that?
I don't know, but you guys call me and I will let you know about that fit. You know what? I think what I saw with JCPenney's is that they needed an actual plus size woman to come and tell them what they don't like and what they do like. And that is my favorite job, is to tell people what I do like and what I don't like. And I think I do a great job of speaking for all of us. You know, we don't want to look older than we are, or we don't want to wear the typical things that consumers make for us. You know, we want to be fashion forward. We want to set the trends. As long as companies give us the material to dress, then we're going to amaze them. And I think that's what we're doing right now. I think after coming off of Project Runway and allowing to give me this platform to speak my voice about how passionate I am about plus size. And I knew going into the competition that I was going into this strict way of designing where I was designing for straight sizes, meaning smaller sizes than plus size. And right when I got to the finale, you know, I was very happy and thankful that Heidi and Tim gave me the opportunity. And I think that was their plan, to give me that opportunity and the platform to be able to create a plus size collection. I had to train them a little bit of what it is that I need for them to support me, which was a huge surprise. I think that was a wake-up call of like, you know what, Ashley, you have to teach this industry how plus size people think, work, and what they want, because they have no clue. They have no clue because they've never been in our shoes.
Right.
So I'm happy that they gave me that, and I'm happy that it has landed me to this success. And I just want to take it and run with it, because I don't think I'm going to get another chance in life to do something like this.
It amazes me because I feel like you are such proof, and all of the fashionistas in here and the Gwynnie B customer, all these people are proof that fashionistas, plus size fashionistas are here and we're not going anywhere.
Why should our size define who we are as an individual?
Right.
You don't know what my background is. You don't know where I came from. You don't know why I'm big, but it doesn't matter. It's what's inside, what my heart is. I mean, I can preach about this.
It's true. But why do you think, even knowing that there's still such a reluctance? Because it feels sometimes like even when a company will, you know, cater to a plus size woman, that, you know, or they'll start a line, that there's still a lot of feet dragging.
Yeah,
and there's still a lot of feedback.
I think consumers are so wrapped up about trying to make it available for their consumers. Like, hey, I have a plus size line, but that's not it. There's so much research. There's so much back information that you need to find out for your consumers. If you're going to present a plus size line, it has to work. You know, plus size women will pay for great quality clothing because we've been dying for it. So please give us this opportunity. And I'm glad Gwynnie B has given that opportunity to women to try new clothing, new styles, and the service that they give us. I'm a full supporter of it, and I absolutely love what they're doing. And they're helping women find their true styles, because there's no one out there who is helping women style themselves, because it's very, very hard to, I don't want to say it's hard to style plus size women, but it's hard to show other people that we have style, because they're so quick to judge us, and they're so quick to tell us what doesn't work. Believe me, I've been there. my mother had dressed me in all black because she said black is slimming. She dressed me in vertical stripes because she said that it was more slimming. She used to dress me up in button-down collared shirts and said that was right for me at the age of 13.
Yeah.
So I know what it's like to wear clothing that people push so much on you. And then finally, when I started working for a retailer and I started making my own money, I was like, that's it. I'm buying my own clothes.
Yes.
I'm in charge of what I wore. And I started testing out new things.
Yeah.
And I started buying my own clothes and having my own style, and I stopped buying black.
Oh my gosh, right? We all go through that. I mean, and then, you know, the New Yorker in me loves black. I have to say.
I told my assistant today, I said, look around. Everyone is wearing dark colors.
Yeah.
Everyone.
But I'm not in black
No, thank you.
So what's been the most, you know, we've seen such an evolution of the plus size fashionista from the bloggers, and women are taking chances that maybe even 5, 6, 7 years ago they weren't taking. What's been the most amazing thing for you to be inspired by the plus size fashionista and how she's growing?
How they're not letting things bother, or how do I want to say this? They're sticking to what they're doing, and they're not letting people's negative comments stop them from keep going. And I love that plus size women are showing more skin on social media. Please let people block your stuff. Please let people scam it. Like, put all that stuff out there. Like, we need to show people that if you want to have a platform and you want to show your body, why can't we show our body?
Absolutely. And that plus size
it's
women
not
are
a one-way
sexy.
street. It's not a one-way street.
Yes. No, absolutely. Let's have a little fun. I want to know, who is your, like, dream fashion client to style and wear? Like, who do you want, who needs to be in Ashley Nell Tipton?
I always go to the women who have inspired me. Them being plus size and me listening to their music and stuff like that. I mean, my ultimate client would probably be Beth Ditto or Adele.
I know.
They are, because they've just, through their music, they have spoken for us, I feel like. And especially Beth Ditto being, I think of her as a plus size Lady Gaga because she is so daring with her fashion. She's so daring with her music, and she has such an amazing voice. And I feel like she empowers plus size women without even saying it or doing it.
Do you have a style muse aside from Beth? And, you know, do you have someone in your regular life who you sort of look to every day and you're like, God, I love her style. I want to, you know, design something
I mean,
for her.
it has to be me going on Instagram and seeing all my beautiful bloggers and influencers out there rocking it, because you guys definitely show me what is coming to trend. Like, I always look to them for how they wear things and their body types, and how I can take a little bit of what they're doing and their confidence and put it into my design.
You know, I have to say, when you sent the flower crown down the runway, that was amazing. And a little old celebrity named Beyonce has been rocking the flower crown.
Beyonce.
Do you, we're going to say it here first. I think Beyonce was inspired by Ashley Nell Tipton. Do you think so? Because I do.
You know, Beyonce, you better call me, because that was my idea first.
Yes,
no, I'm just kidding. If anything, I'm very honored that if she would be inspired by me, little old Ashley, you know, her being inspired by my designs. But I just think that the flower crowns were a trend that was happening. But I wanted to create something that was completely different from your original flower crown, and I wanted it. Basically, when I thought of it, I just knew that if I created this flower crowns, it was going to put my collection together and be a little theatrical, and you're able to tell the story, see the story that I'm telling. Because I don't think you could have put everything together if you didn't see those flower crowns happening. But I appreciate everybody being so supportive of them and loving them, and then also seeing Beyonce, and I was like, damn, she stole my look.
Inspired.
Right? No, she's definitely. I mean, if that's the truth, I'm very honored.
Well, one thing that I loved seeing in Project Runway, watching you have these crazy challenges. They'll be like, here's a roll of toilet paper and a safety pin and some duct tape. Make a couture dress. And it's just like, it's crazy. So what is the process of design from start to finish? When you're under that pressure,
okay, so on the show.
Yes, like how do you even think of a design like that?
That was one of my biggest challenges.
Yeah.
Because I drew blank every time. When you're in a competition show like that, they take all inspiration away from you. You have no cell phones, no magazines, no books, no radio, no music. The only inspiration that you have is literally your drive to studio from your apartment, or the drive from your studio to Mood, or your drive to the challenge. So my eyes were always looking every time we would go to Mood. I had my sketch in my hand, and I would be looking at everybody who was out in the streets. What was in the windows? That was my inspiration. Like, because when you're like that and you're thinking on the spot constantly every day, you drain yourself, and it's so hard. Like, it's almost like you're working out your brain muscles and trying to, you know, pull things out of anywhere. And I'm just glad that whoever my fashion god was, or whoever this angel that was behind me, all this helped me through it, because I was struggling so much. And I don't know if you guys noticed on the show, but man, there was a couple of times where I had to look at myself in the mirror and be like, Ashley, you are 2 challenges away from hitting the finals. You cannot quit right now. You can do this, like, stick by it. Because what people don't understand is when you're in a competition show, they know your ins and out, what makes you upset, what makes you happy, what makes you cry. And they knew my buttons. They knew how to push me.
Were they back there pushing those buttons?
Oh yeah, I mean, they would say grandma, and I would start to cry because my grandma had passed.
Wow.
And so they knew how to make me cry, but I mean, that's all for viewers, whatever. But at the end of the day, they really pushed me, and I'm thankful that they did, because when they always ask me, why do you want to be on Project Runway? And I was like, the reason why I want to be on there is because I have nothing else to lose, and I want to push myself to see how far I can go as a designer, and that's it.
So has the fame part of it, because obviously you're on the show now, you have tons of fans, has the fame been a bit of a mind trip? Because that had to be crazy.
I mean, all honestly, if we're being honest in this room, it was, because I was just a normal, I don't want to say a normal person because it's so weird, but I was just like everyone else who wanted to do something in life. I didn't want to sit behind an office desk and do a 9 to 5. I wanted to do something that I was passionate about and that I loved and that I couldn't call work. And I knew design was my calling. I didn't know why. Grandma stuck me in front of the sewing machine and I just did it. But I think I have a newfound love for all my fans and everything, because it did take me some time to adjust to now that my life is no longer private. And that's the way I want to live. I don't want to live a lie. I don't want to live that Ashley's doing this and Ashley's doing that, and I don't want anyone to ever feel jealous or that they're not doing it enough. Like, I just want to be as real as possible with people, because I think that's when you're going to have your true following. As long as you're true to the people, they're going to be true to you, and that's just what I want to keep doing. And just going through all these things and just having to learn about life and your identity, and I just never knew that Project Runway would make me have to do these things after coming off of a reality show, because it's very, very hard on yourself and it can be traumatizing sometimes. But I think it all happened for the right reasons, and I don't regret any of it at all, because it's taught me and it's gotten me to this point. And it's put, not a, I don't want to say like a pedestal, but it's definitely given me that step up of being able to put my voice out there and allow me to help everyone who's out there who's ever felt that they haven't been accepted. And they want to be accepted, but we don't need anyone's, nobody needs to accept us. Ourselves need to accept ourselves and love ourselves.
Right. And
other people will see that and it will project. And it's just a trickle-down effect that people will start doing the same thing.
Oh, so true. Give me the tissues.
Oh, don't.
You know, it's interesting to hear you say that, because I do think you're so real, and I think that's why your fans really connect with you. But I think another thing, too, is you're honest about the fact that it's not always easy. So, you know, you're such a like happy-go-lucky person, and you know, you're always so positive, but how do you do it? Because it is hard. No, I mean, it's true, you know? And what motivates you to keep going?
I mean, I've had to invest a lot of money into my health, you know? I think it's okay to go to therapy, you know, talk to somebody who's gonna guide you in the right way and tell you the difference between good and bad, and how you shouldn't allow people to affect you and not allow people to call you names. Like for instance, I had a little girl pass by me and she called me fat. And you know, she's a little girl, she doesn't know any better. And you know, I had a choice at that point to be upset at our parents for letting that happen, or just let it roll off my back, you know. And I called my manager and I told him, I was like, a little girl just called me fat, and I was embarrassed and I didn't know what to do. And he was like, you have the choice to let it affect you or not. Like, you can do that. And I'm like, you know what? It's not, I can't let it affect me anymore. Like, because I can't live life being upset because they're not going to get me anywhere in life.
Absolutely.
They're not paying my bills. They're not cutting my checks, nothing. Like, I need to allow myself to be happy. I am the only person who I have control over my happiness, nobody else.
I love that. I love that. Now, if we're looking out ahead, 5 years ahead.
Oh
into
gosh,
the future,
I don't know.
I
don't know.
In Ashley's world domination plan, like, what are like top 3 things that? Because I feel like if you won Project Runway, you could do anything.
You know what? I've said a couple of things to my friends where I have a friend who's a drag queen, and I was making something of his, and he was like, "Are you sure you can do that?" And I was like, do you not know that I won Project Runway?
Exactly.
And he was like, don't get like that, Ashley. And I'm like, no, but seriously, do you not know? And he was like, it was funny. But 5 years ahead of me. I hope that, I want people to be able to really hear what I've gone through in the past year, 2 years, and how I've evolved in such a quick time, and being so young that I know that I have my life at the tip of my hands. And I just want everybody to kind of learn what I've gone through in the past couple of years and how I've been able to come out of such a hard time, the death of my grandmother, going into Project Runway, no longer having a private life because everybody wants to know what's going on. And, all those things I can say that were hard, but it's molded me to the person that I am now. And it's allowed me to get the help that I've needed to be able to keep going with this, because it's not an easy industry, but I'm so passionate about it that I never want to let it go.
Yeah. Oh, and we hope you don't.
No.
We need your clothes.
Thank you. And it's not just about the clothes, it's about the person who wears it and how they have to have that confidence, because no one's going to believe you unless you have that confidence. And you have to love yourself, and it's not just about pretending to, like, you love yourself. You know when you love yourself when you are taking care of yourself and your body, and you just know that is self-love. That is self-love. It's not about telling people I love myself. It's more of actions.
Right. Oh, I love that. I'm ready to read your book.
When it comes out. Yes.
No, it's amazing. And I do want to open it up to audience questions.
Please.
But I do want to ask you, the first time you saw a girl, just a girl on the street wearing Ashley Nell Tipton,
my gosh.
What was that like? I just imagine I would stop her and like run, oh my God! But that's me.
Yeah.
I'm sure you were far more composed than I would be.
It's been I don't know. I feel like I've been in this haze for like the past 2 years. And this past weekend I went to DragCon, and I saw this woman walking around with my skirt from JCPenney's from the first line. And I went up to her and I was like, oh my gosh, where'd you get that skirt from? And her eyes just lit up when she saw that it was me.
Yeah.
And I was just joking around, being playful. And she was like, oh my gosh, no way. And just seeing her really it made me want to cry, because she didn't expect that. But I didn't also expect to see someone at DragCon of all places be wearing my design. And there was actually multiple people wearing my design, which was so uplifting. And it gives me that feeling that I know I did something right. And everything that I've done and all my struggles has played a part and pays off.
Absolutely. No. Oh, absolutely. I agree. And you're just amazing. And we're so excited. I know. I won't
Nobody
have
better
all
cry in
the
this
questions.
room.
Too late. So I definitely want to make sure that we get some audience questions as well, because I'm sure you guys have tons of them.
Oh, God, no, girl.
Can we get a tissue? Listen, tears, they're fashionable.
They are, and I should stop doing this, but don't ever apologize for your tears, because that's who I are. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Because I think I learned the hard way that everybody made fun of me on the show for crying, and I was like, hey, At least I don't have an anger management problem. I'm not hitting walls or anything like that. So I was like, if the worst thing I can do is be crying and have an ugly cry, hey, I will take that.
Love it. Maddie?
Yeah.
What is your advice to aspiring designers?
Don't ever let anyone tell you that you can't. Don't.
Yeah.
And if they say that your designs aren't good enough, you pick a niche. If you have the passion for it, then you do it. If you don't do it. You don't want to put yourself out there if you're not going to continue on.
Yeah.
Because there's been so many times in my life that I felt, okay, should I stop doing this? Because I always have to put 100% because everyone's watching. But that gives me so much life to be able to go through so much to try to get a design out there and then see the end results. You know, you always got to think of what's the possibility? Like, you know, you're working so hard on this, but the end result is going to be so much powerful, so much powerful. So to all those like, inspiring designers, please do it.
Yeah.
We are the unique people that need to be out there in this world. And don't let anybody shut you down, because there's a lot of people who will do that, but that's life.
Absolutely.
And you gotta keep doing it.
And that's a great question and great advice. Also, if somebody wants to maybe get started, because we don't have sewing classes or anything in school, and it's really kind of a dying art where people they don't learn it the way
Like
that
in
they
home
used to.
ec.
In home ec and stuff, right.
I went to school where we weren't learning home ec or anything, but we had an arts program, which it's very sad in California. I don't know about the U.S., but, you know, the arts is coming out, and there's no more arts in schools, and that breaks my heart because arts is what's pushed me to become a fashion designer. But for people who are out there that want to be able to sew and things like that, there's so much resources. Like Mimi G is another person who's creating Simplicity Patterns, and she has a great platform where she helps people sew, and it's all online. You can take lessons all online, or you can go to a continuation school that has all that. There's so many resources. You can teach yourself. You don't have to go to school, but I mean, school doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
I loved it. I learned so much, and I learned so much out of school, but if you want to learn, don't let anything stop you, because there's so many things out there that can help you.
Yeah,
So many
absolutely.
things.
Absolutely. Take another question. Maddie, we'll give someone else for a second.
We will come back to you, Maddie.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. So what was your question?
Hi, my name is Maggie.
Hi, Maggie.
What would you tell your 13-year-old self in your awkward button-down boxing?
Oh, the question was, just for the audience watching, what would you tell your 13-year-old awkward button-down shirt self about, perseverance?
That you're gonna find your purpose in life, and that it's okay not to have one right now. I always cry about this question. But no, it's just so powerful, because I wish I had someone to talk to and look up to that I could relate to, because I didn't have anyone to relate to. And I know you guys feel that pain, because it's very hard to feel like you have a purpose, or you kind of hate yourself for being this size. Like, why did God or whatever have created me this way? And I was always upset at myself for being that size. But I think over the years, I've allowed myself I've admired people's styles and how they look, and I'm like, if they can do it, I can do it. And I think that was my push to really continue being myself and not changing for other people, because when you start to change for other people, you get lost and you don't remember who you are. And especially being in this fame right now, it's easy to do that, but I have such a strong and amazing team to continue to put me on track and to continue telling me, like, you got to snap back, Ashley, you got to be who you are, be true to yourself. And going back to that question, I would have just told my 13-year-old self that you will find a purpose in life, and don't hate yourself for being dyslexic and being fat.
Yes, in the front.
question is more complicated than I'm about to phrase it, but
It's okay.
do you think we'll ever get to a point where fat is just an adjective?
The question was, do you
Yeah.
think we'll ever get to a point where fat is just an adjective? Great question.
I don't know how to answer that, but I feel that this world right now is giving us a little bit of being accepted. And I don't think that we should be patient, because we've come a long way. We've come a long way where people were not accepting, but now they're starting to be accepting of us. And I want everyone to know to be patient with people, because we can't shove things down people's throat and say you need to be accepting of this and this and this. Little by little, people are going to start doing it, and I don't think that we necessarily need to take the plus size word out of anything. It's just a word. You shouldn't. That's how we can find our clothes easy. You know, like, I don't really care if you call it curvy, plus size, fluffy, whatever. I don't care. I just use plus size as a word to describe what it is that I do, because I'm not going to give you this long speech about what I do. You know the word plus size? Great. This is what I do. So please don't take that word away from us. Like, we've worked too hard to now have the light on us to, I mean, you saw, I went on the show and I created a collection, and that was the first time New York Runway has ever allowed someone to go down the runway with plus size women, and I'm very thankful for that. And I just think we just have to be patient with people, and you will see the results, because I was patient with Project Runway. I didn't say that, oh, you guys need to let me do this. They allowed me, but they saw how much I fought for it and how passionate I was for it. And I think if we show people how passionate we are about things, and that we're not going anywhere and we're not going to stop pushing for it. So,
Love that. Yes. Do we have another question from the audience? Yes, right here.
What do you say, because unfortunately some of the biggest critics of fat women are other fat women who say that you shouldn't wear horizontal stripes, and you shouldn't wear a crop top, and you shouldn't wear short skirts. What do you say to women who think that we should still be disguising and hiding our bodies?
So the question was, what do you say to women? You know, she brought up the point about how sometimes the biggest criticisms of fat women come from fat women or plus size women. So what do you say to those women who are sort of policing the things that we should be
I know those
wearing?
women very, very closely. I know them. I've actually lived with one for about 23 years, who is my mother, but I love her to death. I think the reason my mom preached it so much to me was because she grew up being skinny. I'm her first child she's ever raised being plus size. And so she didn't know any better to tell me, no, you can't wear horizontal stripes, Ashley. No, you can't show your big legs. No, you can't show your big arms. And the day I got my first check was the day I went and bought my own clothes. I was like, Mom is not responsible for my style anymore. But you know what? Correct me if I'm wrong, but when I see people who are judging other plus size women, to me, I know they're not happy. I know they're not happy, and they're projecting their unhappy self to us so that we can get on their level to be unhappy. No, I've been with enough of those plus size women to tell me never to talk about diets, never to talk about getting weight loss surgery, none of that. And I was always afraid of doing something that they would go and correct me for, but life is too precious to be trying to protect or trying to, how do I want to say this, to be that person that they want you to be when they're around. And it's not right. I'm like, don't live this unhappy life of, you have to go constantly be battling somebody. Like, no, you don't have to. So I just hope that those people who are projecting other negative things on plus size women finally find their self-love. And know that when we have a group of plus size women, it's more powerful than one single person. And that we need to come together and not be enemies. No jealousy, nothing like that. It's more of we can help each other, and we finally have this community where we can bounce ideas off of each other, and we can ask people questions about things. And I don't think there's enough, or there is enough plus size people now, but back then there wasn't enough plus size women, men, talking about what they, things that their difficulties. You know, I found a group of women in San Diego that I hold deeply, that we used to hold these fat salons, we used to call them, and we would go to someone's house and we would just allow the floor to be completely open. And it didn't mean if you were gay, bisexual, trans, whatever, you could come as long as you were opening to hearing what we had to say and you had no judgment. And those were one of the most powerful nights that I've had, of being in a group of plus size women who allowed the floor to be open about sex, diet, anything that had to do with plus size, and not being able to have your resources. We could all come together and share our experiences with each other. So I mean, I suggest that you do that here with your friends, with your community. Get together, allow the floor to be open with no judgments, because we've been judged our whole life, that we got to let that guard down, and we got to stop judging people if we don't want to be judged. That's the first step.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So we have a question in the back here.
Yay.
Okay, great. Yes,
Thanks,
I was just about to say,
Facebook.
yes. Viewers, we haven't forgotten you.
No, we haven't.
Do you think the plus size fashion section will ever move front and center with the straight size clothing?
The question was, do you think that the plus size fashion section will ever move front and center with the straight size clothing? I'm interested to hear this.
I mean, as long as we push for it. I mean, we can. I want to say, like, in the past few years, we've been wanting this, and it's finally happening. And I think that we can't stop pushing for it. And it can happen. And I think once the industry, this fashion industry, understands that if you give plus size women the platform, the materials, that we will prove them wrong, or just be able to show that plus size women can dress if you give us the materials. If you give us the materials of how to style ourselves, how to put outfits together. If you give us the space for it, we will achieve, and we will do it in the right way.
Absolutely. And the great thing is with places like Winnie Bee, where you can try things on like that. So
I mean, I love what they've done, and actually have a pop-up shop to actually try on these brands and be familiar what Wannabe actually carries online. And I'm just really I'm thankful to be here, and really thankful to be able to try on things and have this company who is so supportive with plus size. And I can see how far they're gonna go.
Absolutely, absolutely. I know we'll take another viewer, but let's hear your question.
Do you have other categories that you want to design for? Like, I saw that you had jewelry that you were working on, but are there more that you want to design for?
Yes.
The question was, does she have other categories that she's going to design for? Can we expect some Ashley Nell Tipton jewelry?
I know
shoes?
you guys have been waiting for me to say this.
That was my question. Are you going to do kids?
So I'll get to that too. Jewelry is our next step for the Ashley Nell Tipton brand. We want to not offer plus size jewelry. We want to offer wide fit jewelry that actually fits, and we're not just putting extenders on things. We want it to be meant for us, to be made for us. Like, we've suffered enough with trying to walk into a store, no, the clothes don't fit for us. Okay, let's try the jewelry don't fit. Let's try the shoes don't fit. So I'm just tired of not being able to walk into a store, any kind of store, and be able to find something that fits for me. And I now want this jewelry line to be wherever it can be, and to give women something right now. I know that I want to be able to design clothing and all that. That's still on its way, but if jewelry can help enhance your confidence or your outfit or whatever it is, I want to be there to be able to design it, because I was never a jewelry person, but now that I have been given the opportunity to play around, I'm like, I found this newfound glory of jewelry, and I just want to run with it, and I'm so happy. And for kids, I would love to be able to do that, because I know that 13-year-old Ashley would have really appreciated clothes at a young age. And you know, I think we have some great platforms right now that can help young teenagers that struggle with their weight. And I think it's just thinking outside of the box. Be creative. Be creative. This is the time to experiment and see what happens. And I mean, it's not necessarily that you need approval from other people that your outfit is great. The only approval you need is from yourself. If you know you look good and you feel good, it will project out to other people.
That's great. Can we take one more from the Facebook viewers? And then I guess, I mean, we could talk to you all day.
We can. I'm chatty Kathy right now. And,
no, this is
no,
good. Girl talk. Girl fashion talk.
Thank you. Let's see.
From Facebook, how do you feel about limited stock of plus-size fashion, sizes, and fast fashion stores?
So the question was, how do you feel about limited stock of fashion in fast fashion stores for plus-size women?
I mean,
first of all, explain to them what fast fashion is.
You're asking me.
Yeah, listen. No, well,
fast fashion. What my interpretation of fast fashion, please anyone correct me here, is you know, your H&M, your
right.
Forever 21, all those companies that produce very quickly and produce very cheaply. I don't appreciate that because we have been waiting a long time for plus size clothing, and we deserve great quality clothing. If we're going to pay for something, we need to make sure that the lifespan of a garment is actually going to last us instead of one wash, one wear. I know we carry a lot weight, but it doesn't matter. We should be able to wear our clothing as much as anyone out there should be able to wear something. And over the years of me working with other companies, I realized that us plus size women don't have the same lifespan in a bra than any other regular size. You know, our lifespan, for them, for straight sizes, their lifespan is about 6 months for a bra. Our lifespan for a bra is about 3 months. And that was a huge wake-up call when I heard that, because I was like, we should not be suffering with our bras, our undergarments, or any clothes in general. You know, we should have the same thing. And we shouldn't have to pay for different prices just because we have different material. That's insane. That is insane. We want clothing, but it's just crazy that this industry has wanting to mark things up because we take up more space, and that's not right.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Guys, this was so great. Thank you, Ashley, for your time. Thank you, Guinevere, for hosting this amazing fun chat. Definitely make sure you stop by the pop-up shop if you're in New York City on 5th Avenue between 18th and 19th. Look at me, I knew that off the top of my head. And definitely check out Guinevere.com. And you guys have a great rest of your night. And Ashley, we're gonna go get some wine.
Yes. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you.